The integrity of the World Health Organization. The World Health Organization, also known as the WHO, is a United Nations specialized organization responsible for international public health. The World Health Organization was founded in 1948 by 194 different countries. The WHO's constitution states its main objective as the attainment by all people of highest possible level of health. While people have distrust for the organization due to the COVID-19 pandemic, vaccine, and lockdown, they have proven to be credible and trustworthy. This continues to spark debate among the public over two sides of the issue. Their actions have benefited people in so many ways by helping with international health coverage, and more people are better protected against medical emergencies while still setting international health standards and providing guidance on critical conditions and supporting international responses to health emergencies such as disease outbreaks. They are also promoting and advocating for improved global well-being and provide technical assistance to countries. People have put their trust in this organization for so many reasons, one of which is they have made so many accomplishments over the years. The most known of these was the eradication of smallpox in 1978, and to this day, the WHO is still actively recording, processing, and monitoring requests from researchers for this virus. They have also achieved the Alma Ata Declaration on Primary Health Care in 1978, which was the first international declaration underlining the importance of primary health care. It has since been accepted by member countries of the World Health Organization as the key to achieving the goal of health for all, and not to mention the WHO's Framework Convention on Tobacco Control is the first global public health treaty, which was developed by countries in response to the spread of the tobacco epidemic. They have also adhered to their main goal of universal medical coverage by providing people in need with more access to improve essential medicines, vaccines, diagnosis, and devices for healthcare. Under the category of actions they carry out, the World Health Organization has promptly recognized and responded to health crises as well as prepared countries for health emergencies. Even though the World Health Organization has done good, they struggle to gain the public's trust. The opposing side of the argument says the WHO is not to be trusted because they poorly handled the COVID-19 pandemic. They pressured leaders to keep the lockdown policies in effect, even though doctors encouraged to reopen the economy so hospitals can operate and avoid further economic damage. What worries so many people is that this response meant a long-term separation and isolation even to those who are not sick, including children. And they have teamed up with platforms like YouTube to silence anyone speaking out against the lockdown and or vaccines. Like, for example, here is a clip of YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki in a recent interview from September with Bloomberg Technology.
First of all, we want to make sure that if there's information that violates our policies, we came up with 10 different policies around COVID, then if that's a violation of policies, then that's something that we'll remove. We removed over 1 million videos associated with COVID.
People feel like these new policies made by YouTube are unfair and extreme, but YouTube is not the only platform doing this. Twitter is also banning and suspending accounts of people who question the vaccine or the World Health Organization's actions. Twitter recently suspended Nicki Minaj's account for stating her cousin's friend's experience with the vaccine. My cousin in Trinidad won't get the vaccine because his friend got it and became impotent. His testicles became swollen. His friend was weeks away from getting married, and now the girl called off the wedding. So just pray on it and make sure you're comfortable with your decision, not bullied. She went on Instagram Live the following day to address the issue.
This is scary. You should be able to ask questions about anything you're putting inside your body.
For the remainder of the live, Minaj expressed that she felt like she could no longer ask questions about the vaccine and that the media has changed tremendously. She also said that Twitter suspending her account made her rethink their intentions.
There's something bigger to it. You know, like when I kept on seeing all these people with all these conspiracy theories, I would be like, oh, what? Oh, please, But what in the world scared y'all that much?
Because of the precautions that social media platforms are taking, many people are proposing that the World Health Organization is trying to push an agenda, and that in the near future you will not be able to apply for jobs, travel, go to the grocery store, or eat at restaurants without a vaccination card. Restaurant franchises like Applebee's are requiring employees to stand at the entrance of restaurants to check vaccination cards and IDs to prove it's your card. They will start fining $5,000 to restaurants who do not comply with the vaccine policies. Here's a clip of an interview with Zane Tankel, an owner of 25 Applebee's in the New York metro area, discussing the new policies.
Next week, when they start imposing fines if you don't comply or the restaurant's out of compliance, $5,000
Right.
up to.
We now have 95% of about 1,500 people that are vaccinated.
They have terminated managers that have worked for the company for 10 plus years because they do not want to comply with the new policies. There have been protests in New York days after the mayor declared that all government employees, with the exception of jail staff, would be required to receive a vaccination shot or be placed on unpaid leave. 5,000 enraged protesters marched across the Brooklyn Bridge to Manhattan chanting, "We will not comply and leave us alone and let us work." Many people think that the government's and the World Health Organization's actions will lead the country being divided into the vaccinated and the anti-vaxxers. All of us have different opinions and beliefs about controversial topics. We also look into different places to find information and form our opinions, such as local news, social media, documentaries, blog posts, or online articles. Because of technological improvements, we can now check media on a regular basis and see and hear it at a moment's notice. Media can have an impact on our relationships, absorb our time, and most importantly, influence our opinions and thoughts. News has shifted from informing people about facts to telling them what their opinions should be. When we hear or see negative media about a specific subject, we have already formed our own opinions or thoughts about it. There's so many issues that arise with this, like for instance, people tune in to the network that corresponds with their pre-existing political ideology, preventing them from viewing the world from more than one perspective and making them less observant to the views of others. If someone already dislikes or distrusts the World Health Organization, then most likely they will get their news from sources who speak negatively of the organization, and vice versa with someone who trusts them. Many news sources exaggerate stories for clicks and views, and a lot of them will spread false information to get the public to react. And by focusing on the negative and not telling the full story, these methods work because people don't actually read articles, just the headlines. The main issue we have with deliberation, especially political deliberation, is our inability to accept when we are wrong. We humans have incredibly large egos and are drawn to things that feed them. Recent studies have found that the media affects what people think about and not what they think. These findings show that the media has a major impact on what people think about, their political preferences, and judgments. As long as the media keeps reporting good things about the World Health Organization, we will not think about the unfavorable things they have done, and since we never hear about any bad things about them, we will assume they have done nothing but good without knowing the full truth. This is exactly what YouTube, Twitter, and other social media platforms are doing by removing content that questions the WHO's actions.